Broadcasting live from Site B, it's Pirate Radio. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It is the OGGM, DJ OGGM. Congratulations, nerds. You have spoken as one. You have risen up, and we have crashed D&D Beyond. This just went live on Microsoft News, of all places. Microsoft News. So, that's pretty big. We might actually even make it to the 6 o'clock news today. We crashed D&D Beyond with the mass canceling. D&D Beyond had to shut down. All of this is in response, of course, to the controversy involving the Ocean Games license. But between the leak and the OGL 1.1 and the emails, the industry as a whole, except for maybe one person, have risen up and said, no, Wizards of the Coast, you have gone too far this time. How much money is it going to cost people, Wizards of the Coast, for D&D Beyond to crash and then have to go back on and to respond to all the negative press and everything? Well, they should have gotten ahead of it by now, but they didn't. So congratulations, nerds. You have stood up. You have, as one unit, and said, no, thank you, Wizards of the Coast. You've gone too far. After years of bickering and infighting and this side and that side and everything, blah, blah, and one thing has gotten us together, and that is Wizards of the Coast saying it's our ball and we're taking it at home. And everybody around the world, this isn't just here in the US, around the world has said, no, this affects me. This affects my business. This affects my friends. This affects an entire industry if you're going to go through this. Wizards of the Coast hasn't said anything yet. And what are attorneys saying responding to that? Well, you know what? They technically don't have to. They could just wait till it goes to court. But maybe after this, it will. I mean, it's funny, people cry about racist fish in Dragonlance or the space monkeys, and Wizards of the Coast quickly as possible addresses that controversy. But this, apparently their lawyers are just saying, nope, keep your mouth shut. Is this the right decision for Wizards of the Coast to make? You would think they would get ahead of this. Will they respond to this yet? No, we probably won't see any type of response till, as I said before, tomorrow around 4 o'clock Wizards of the Coast time, if there's any response at all. But they don't have to. I mean, yes, they don't have to respond at all. They do not have to. Nowhere does it say you are required to respond to this. They might have to respond to shareholders about this, because I'm sure they're getting calls right now from people who are going, why is this on D&D Beyond thing on Microsoft News? So congratulations, nerds. You have, as a collective society, risen up, boycotted, even Jeannie D supposedly. So the only person we're waiting to hear from is you, Papa Mercer. St. Mercer, here's your chance to get ahead of this, to show everybody, how important Critical Role really is to the industry, and to speak up. So if you're within the sound of my voice, Mercer, and technically you are, because, I could technically see Calabasas from where I live on a clear day. So, yeah. Say something. Luke Gygax, say something. You're also, well, yeah, I can see Calabasas on a clear day from where I live if I get up on the hills. Yeah, so, it's right on the other side of the grid. I mean, it's not that far. I could drive. Yeah. So, but right now, we crashed D&D Beyond. It's back up at the moment, but you got to admit, I don't think anybody's subscribing right now. And I don't think this is a story that's going to end anytime soon. So way to go. Yeah. Congratulations, guys. We have spoken as one. We have risen up. Pirate Radio is alive and well and broadcasting. We will fight this fight as long as we can. But UGGN, last year they didn't do anything about the abortion thing. And you know what? They didn't have to say anything about the abortion thing either. But this is a completely different story. Because this doesn't affect, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 15, 100, 200, 300, 700 people. This is an entire planet. This is hundreds of 5 million people supposedly playing D&D at any given point in time. So that means, and if there's supposedly, 2 to 3 million, I don't know, I think there's like 60,000 subs on D&D Beyond at any given time. So out of the 5 million, 4 million some odd people have said no. we're done. I mean, if the entire D&D community is saying, no, we're unsubscribing from D&D Beyond if you're going to do this, that means something. It means that the one person or the two people who are out there who are still going, this is a good thing and it doesn't mean anything, you're going to have to do some real damage control to go, oh, well, I mean, yeah, the D&D Beyond thing, that's not a thing. Yeah. Now, do they have to say something? No, they don't. Should they say something? No, they don't. Could they continue with the OGL 1.1 as predicted? Yeah, they could. Will people rise up and fight him? They're counting on no. They're counting on people saying, you know what? I can't afford to go to court. I got mouths to feed. I can't afford to have them take down my stuff. I can't afford to have them go after me. All those little small businesses who are affected by this, they're counting on them saying, I can't, I can't. And Wizards of the Coast is counting on Big Daddy Hasbro with its multi-billion-dollar war chest to go, we'll cover you. And Hasbro could say, they could take the same stance they did with the abortion thing and just not say anything. Just let it play out. And if push comes to shove, they do have a legal department, except Hasbro, at the end of the day, is responsible to its shareholders. And this is something that will affect the bottom line. Mass people boycotting is, it's like the abortion thing, but it's also not like the abortion thing. So, but it's I'm not defending their choice. I think they should have said something too, but they didn't have to. And by not saying anything, whatever. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying all this thing anyway. So don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. But yeah, Hasbro doesn't have to say anything. Hasbro could just back them. We're going to back your play. Do what you're going to do. We'll just see how things play out. But Hasbro, at the end of the day, has to answer to shareholders. And if this costs them enough money, people are actually doing things. People are costing them money. Stores and publishers and people around the world are saying no more. Then Hasbro can step up and say, well, you know what, Wizards of the Coast. And this is what I've been calling for over a year now. I have been calling this, that this would happen. People said, you didn't know what you're talking about. I have been calling that Hasbro's position right now in regards to Wizards of the Coast is, here's your rope. We're not going to say anything. And here's your rope. Now add to this, on the Hasbro calendar, June 2027, D&D 6X. It's on there. It hasn't been taken down yet. No explanation, but it was on the calendar last time I checked. How will Wizards of the Coast respond to this D&D Beyond thing? Because they haven't yet. Who knows? How will Hasbro respond to this thing? Because they haven't yet. Who knows? Should they? Yes, they should have by now. It's kind of a surprise they haven't yet. Do they have to? Well, it's bad press, it's bad publicity, but no, they don't. They don't have to say anything to get ahead of this. There's nothing legally binding requires them to defend this in any way, shape, or form. They could just let it play out. Post OGL 1.1 tomorrow, send out the 30-day injunctions, and count on the fact that most people do not have the time, energy, legal resources, or money to fight it. And that people will just go, I got mouths to feed. I can't not take a knee. I've got to do this. Which is, I think, it's sad, but that's the way the world works. This affects me, teeny little OGGM and his teeny little radio station, teeny little thing in the middle of teeny little, Site B nowhere, Ventura, California, as much as it affects the 30, 40, 50 people who work at Frog God Games, or the 100 people who work for Paizo. This affects Wizards of the Coast employees. This affects D&D Beyond employees. This affects people in other states, other countries. And in a situation like this, Hasbro's defense can just be, come at me, bro. And and Wizards of the Coast can take the brunt. And if everything goes wrong, Hasbro can use Wizards of the Coast as a scapegoat. and then go, you know what? We have spent the last 6 months going over the fiscal repercussions of the Wizards of the Coast choice to push forward with the OGL. And after much deliberation with legal and our shareholders, we have decided to do the following. Am I right? We'll see. So I'm calling it now. If I'm right, you owe me a Snickers. 1, there will be some form of announcement tomorrow from Wizards of the Coast regarding OGL 1.1 by 4 p.m.-ish Seattle time. 2, Hasbro won't say anything for at least 4 months. They're waiting and seeing. 3, Hasbro's going to sell Wizards of the Coast before or by June 2027. If this succeeds, Hasbro reaps the rewards. They don't have to say anything. But if this fails, Hasbro can blame Wizards of the Coast, take a few weeks, days, months off, and then come out and say, we regret this decision. We have addressed it. Going forward, this is how Hasbro is going to deal with the choices that Wizards of the Coast makes. So it's win-win for them. If it succeeds, they don't say anything. They make money. If it fails, they blame Wizards of the Coast. They cover their losses. They move forward. They make money. Corporations, at the end of the day, despite all the bells and whistles and smoke and mirror, know how to make money. And Hasbro knows how to make money for Hasbro. So really, it's not watch and wait and see to see what Wizards of the Coast does. It's watch to wait and see how Hasbro's legal responds. And, because they're going to need to come up with an explanation for why they haven't got ahead of it yet, which is just literally unheard of, but not really. And then they're going to have to come up with an explanation to deal with the shareholders who are going to respond to, hey, why are we trending on MSN? So let's see if there's anything new on this. Since last I talked about it. Nope. Let's go to D&DBeyound. Nope. Let's go to Wizards. Wow, God. It looks like the Wizards of the Coast D&D site hasn't been updated since August. Really? They've really not updated the site since August? Yeah, last updated. Wow, that's weird. Okay, nothing there. Anything on Twitter? Nope. All right, so there you go. As of now, Hasbro has not responded. So, yeah, congratulations, nerds. Way to go, guys. All right, I wasted too much time on this, but I just had to shout out to you guys and let you know that we have rocked the world. Will the tabletop role-playing game community of the world ever gather again and make this much noise? You see me now, a victim of 1,000 gaming psychic wars. My arms are tired. My head's about... Yeah, I've seen this all before. Talk to you later!